This is the Horse Radio Network.
Greetings, everyone. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily, episode 1401, brought to you by Purina. Today's tip features co-hosts of the monthly driving episode on Horses in the Morning, Glenn the Geek and Dr. Wendy Ying, with some insight on keeping records of your horse's vaccines and how it might be different depending on whether you or your vet administered those shots. And we'll get right to our tip after we hear from our sponsor, Purina. Do you have an older horse that's trying to age gracefully? Trust the future with your old friend to the #1 equine vet recommended senior feed. Purina Equine Senior and Senior Active Horse Feeds are backed by unparalleled research to support the unique needs of horses as they age. Both patented feeds include active age prebiotic technology to support optimal immune function, mobility, and appropriate metabolic response in aging horses. Plus, now with Outlast supplement built in, they also support your horse's gastric health and comfort. Purina Animal Nutrition. They're years ahead in senior research, so you can have more good years with your horse. Put their research to the test at horseinnovation.com.
In my practice, when I do FEI horses, they have a passport, and then I fill out their flu records in their passport. FEI actually doesn't require rhinovirus because they don't have that in Europe. But for us in the United States, it's very common to do flu and rhino together in one shot. The vaccine that I use for my clients is the intranasal vaccine. It's called Calvenza. And I like the intranasal vaccine because it gives immunity in the nose, right? So they carry antibodies in the mucus in their nose to the virus. So when they breathe it in, hopefully they'll kill it there with the antibodies. Where you do injectable, you are making antibodies, but you're making antibodies in the blood. So when they have to breathe it in, it has to get in the bloodstream, and then your antibodies attack it. And if you are, I'm sure you and Jennifer give your own vaccines, right? You don't have a veterinarian give your vaccines?
Jennifer gives the vaccines, and the vet, does the things the vet have to do.
Right.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's really common. When I was 13, my trainer insisted we all learn how to give our vaccines. So, if you do your own vaccines, then you need to, there's a couple of hoops you have to jump through to prove that you've done that. And you have to show the receipt that you bought it,
right,
that you bought it at the store, and have the serial number and the expiration date, and then the date that you give it. On the USDF
So like you make
site,
copies of your Coggins, you would make copies of that to bring with you.
Yeah, you make copies of that. So if you buy it from Valley Vet or wherever, then you just keep that copy. You put it in your Coggins book or whatever, and just write down the serial number. And a lot of these vaccines, if you buy the single dose vaccines, it has a sticker, the label. You can just tear it off and put that, just stick it on your Coggins.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Also, with our new picture Coggins, for my clients, I can put in vaccines onto their Coggins form. So I always put in their rabies when they have their last rabies. There is a space for the flu and rhino vaccines now, although we only do the Coggins once a year. So you might need another form, because you need this vaccine every 6 months. But the USEF has a form that you can download that you can it just has these little boxes. You just fill in the information. As the veterinarian, I sign off on that and stamp it. But as a horse owner, you could fill that out and then show that with your proof of the receipt of the vaccine.
And now you just do the picture Coggins. Our vet doesn't do that. You think that's going to become mandatory at some point?
I think it should be mandatory, and plus your vet should do it. It's so much easier because you don't have to draw those pictures. He gets an Appaloosa,
and with technology today,
he's not doing the pictures.
With technology today, he has a camera on his phone. It'd be easy for him to do.
Yeah, and with my picture Coggins, I've been doing these since 2004. No, not 2004. 2007, I think they started. So any horses that I have in the practice from then just have the same picture. I don't have to upload the picture every time. All their information's in there. So when I do a repeat Coggins, all I have to do is like click 3 buttons and it's done. And then the owner can actually log on to the site and print their own Coggins off once it's in. So, gone are the days when it's Sunday morning and you're leaving for the horse show and you don't have your Coggins and your vet office is not open. Plus,
I've never done that.
I don't like to get calls on Sunday morning like, when do you have my Coggins?
Oh, every damn time we go someplace, Jennifer's like, oh, where do I put the Coggins?
I know. But see, and you know what I always tell people to do, as I say, go online and they can make a little profile and they can have access to all their Coggins. So if they lose it, they can print it out. I mean, if they lose it, they can print out a new one anytime. But you can also download a PDF and just keep it on your phone. So, or on your iPad. So when you're filling out your entry forms, like, now in combined driving, we have a lot of online entries thanks to Ellen Ettinger. You just send her you just email her your Coggins and then she has it.
It is a great idea, though. It also stops a lot of fraud.
Well, and especially with, when I used to go over the Florida state line, we have to go to the health through the ag checks. And I had my team. I had 6 black horses that all look alike, right? On the picture Coggins, on the drawing Coggins, they had to get in there with the flashlight, blah, blah, blah. But now with the picture, you can see their face. So you see what they look like. So you're right. It does stop a lot of fraud.
And that wraps it up for today. You can find links to today's guests as well as lots more tips at horsetipdaily.com. Don't forget to download the free Horse Radio Network app for your iPhone or your Android. That way you can have all of your favorite Horse Radio Network shows with you wherever you go and never miss an episode. Thank you again to Purina for sponsoring this episode. The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements made by guests on the Horse Tip Daily. Please use your own judgment when listening to the tips on this show.